guys, what's going on? We're doing another review of a bike today. It's going to be the Kent Roadtech 700C road bike. Now, in my opinion of the bike, I have not had it very long, so this could change over time. I'm going to do another review in about 2 months from now, just so I can say if anything goes wrong with it or if it's still doing really good. Everything has been amazing on the bike so far. I've already rode like 40 miles with it, and it's so stable on the road when you're going down. It's just, you feel so solid on the bike. Like, you don't feel like you're at speed wobbles or anything like that. Now, the handlebars are a little something to get used to. The bull bar shape is quite new, but you get used to it pretty easily. And a lot of time, like, you're gonna be like this. If you're trying, that's my pump. I use that to pump really hard, or if I'm gonna go fast. Now, if I'm just trying to relax and ride, I try to hold here in the center, because that's just more of a comfortable spot. But actually, I noticed when I was riding a long distance, I actually hold onto the edges of the bars, like in the band, and hold it. That was the most comfortable way for me to hold. Now, that's going to change for anybody. Everybody's different. You know, you have your own, you prefer your own thing. Now, I did pick the seat up a little bit. Now, when you set up your seat height, your knees should be fully locked out. Your legs should be perfectly straight on the bottom of the stroke. You should be sitting on the seat. Your legs should be always stretched out, like not too far, but right as you get to the bottom of it, your legs should be perfectly straight. That should be the perfect pedal stroke. It helps your endurance last longer, and you get more power in per pedal, I think, and that's what I prefer. And I've seen a couple other people that don't like that as much, but that's what I'll tell you to do, is try to make sure your legs are straight as possible when you set up this bike for you. Now, the shifters are here instead of your normal up here, which is quite weird for me at first. Now, your front derailleur does not have any click adjustment. It's not an auto adjust. Like, you click and it doesn't just click where it's supposed to go. You actually have to pull it up to where you get the chain on, and then you got to adjust it yourself where the chain's not rubbing, which I honestly prefer. So if the chain's rubbing a little bit, I can just move this just a little bit, and then the chain doesn't rub a little bit. The bike is a 21 speed. It has 7 in the back, 3 in the front. I'm pretty sure it's 48 on the big sprocket, 38 on the on the medium one, and the small one's 28. I'm not exactly positive. I haven't counted yet, but I'm almost positive that's what it is. Now, the back, it just varies. I don't really count that. But now, what I notice is when I'm on flat, if I get pumping into the bike good and everything, I run in the highest gears, and it's almost perfect. Now, the pedals are actually really good pedals for the bike. I'm really surprised that they're as good as they are. They have really good clamps on them. Like, when you pedal in, like, you really hook into the bike, like the pedals. You feel like your feet aren't going to fly off and stuff like that. The chain has not popped off yet, which is amazing, because there's nothing worse when you're pedaling like 20 mile an hour. You're just pedaling along, and all of a sudden your chain pops off because you feel like you're going to wreck. I did it on this bike right here, and it did not feel good at all. I didn't actually wreck. I landed on the frame and somehow staked it. But one thing I did notice is, because this is a bike you buy from Walmart, so there's also going to be some, it's not going to be perfect. I noticed I actually had to curl the handlebars down just a little bit, because when I was riding it, my arms would ride on this really bad. And now, I think part of the issue is the brakes are actually a little bit too high for what I prefer, but it's all different for you guys. You might not want to have your fingers on the brakes, but me being me, I like running my fingers on the brakes just from my riding mountain bike. Background of riding this so much that it's instinct to want to hold on to the brakes. Now, the brakes are just a standard V-brake system with a single bolt, which I don't really like the single bolt one because they don't work as good. I mean, these brakes work fine. I mean, for what it is, they work pretty good. Now, you can't stop instantly with this bike. You're not going to lock both brakes up at the same time. That's not going to happen, so you don't got to worry about that. But you can do endos on it if you try it. I had to try it. I can't not do it. So that's a lot of the stuff I noticed on it. It does not have bolts for a bottle holder, so you got to get one that has a strap around it, because this is what it has. And I don't really like that. I wish they would just put bolts on it, because it always moves, and you can't seem to ever get it fully tight with the one I got. Now, the bike is 160 on the website on Walmart. Now, this one was 130 at Walmart, and I noticed that it has some scratches on the frame. So if you're at Walmart and you're looking at a bike or something, say, oh, it's got this 2-inch scratch on it or something like that, talk to somebody about it. You can probably get 10% off. That's what I got on this one. I got 10% off on it, just because it had a scratch in it. And it looks, it works good now. I ended up getting it for cheaper than with tax than the bike was before I even did anything. Tires seem very well, but do seem like they're wearing down rather fast. Like they already do have, I can already tell I've worn them down pretty good. Now, 75 psi is the max in these tires. Now, I'm looking at getting more because I want more psi in, because the more psi you have, the smoother your bike's going to roll out. Like say if you're going to coast, you have to do less pedaling, so you can actually get more of a coast going down a hill or something. And it's just going to be easier to pedal in general. Now, it has normal reflectors on it here and here, and yeah, your rim reflectors and all that, so that's normal. Now, what I would tell you to do is to check everything on the bike. If you know how to do it, or you don't know how to do it, if you want to spend the money on it, take your bike to like a bike shop or something like that, you know, just somebody knows, or if you know how to do it yourself. I would go over every single bolt and just watch the brakes, because you can over tighten them and they don't work that well. And like I was riding a bike and I didn't do this. That's why I'm telling you to do it. I already had to put new brakes on it because the one back brake came loose, and while I was pulling the brake, it actually was rubbing on the rim wrong and put a big divot, like big notch in the brakes. So, you know, you need to look at that, because if you don't, then that could happen to you. So check everything over, make sure everything's good and tight. And that's really all I can say about the bike right now. I haven't had any issues with the Kent Roadtech 700C bike. That'd be my advice. It's a very good bike. I would highly recommend it as of right now. And please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. We're getting bigger and bigger by every week, it seems like. I know 30 doesn't sound like much to a lot of other channels, but to me that means a lot, and that you guys actually want to watch my channel. And please drop a like, because every little bit helps. And see you on the next video.